Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars A Review. Today I'm reviewing Yoda Issue 4, Students of the Force, Part 1, Old Friends, which was written by Jody Houser with art by Luke Ross and was released on February 22nd, 2023, which I thought was a solid issue. It ties into some other Star Wars stories, mainly about stuff about Dooku, set before The Phantom Menace. Also the Age of Republic one-shot about Dooku. It has big ties into that, as I think Houser and Ross were the creative team on that one shot. But I also like the setup for this arc, seeing Yoda and Dooku together when Dooku was still a Jedi. It is set around the time, like right before he leaves the Order, or at least I think it is. I don't know exactly, but it definitely seems like it's shortly before that time. But I liked seeing Yoda get Dooku to help him out with some Jedi younglings, while also seeing some of Dooku's lost faith in the Jedi Order, which we see these younglings, a Wookiee named Kershish and a Trandoshan named Gyre, which are seemingly friends, even though, the Trandoshans and Wookiees, have a long history of not getting along. But during the issue, we see Gyre or Gear or whatever, the Trandoshan, befriend this other youngling named Jak'zin, which we see Jak'zin in the Dooku Age of Republic one-shot. But, later in his life, once Dooku was secretly a Sith and he, meets Dooku at that point in time and Dooku ends up killing him. But, we see them kind of become friends and Kershish kind of has some jealousy over it and then later has a vision of the terrible things the Trandoshans have done to the Wookiees. And later we see him in the Jedi archives, I guess maybe looking for info on that. And Dooku sees him and then, he tells Dooku about the vision and whatnot, which Dooku then tells him pretty much all the wrong things. The only good thing, I think, was telling him that visions are good, but he then says that the Jedi look down on visions and definitely look down on the Jedi who act out on their visions. And so he tells Kershish to not tell anyone about it, even Master Yoda, which we see Kershish later going to class and he angrily bumps into Jerry, which, he then kind of sits there angrily in class. But that was about half of the issue. The other half we see mainly Dooku with Yoda, which they talk about Dooku's time as Yoda's Padawan, but also Dooku being on the council, which is nice. But, then they do like a saber lesson for the younglings. But afterwards, we see them talking about the younglings, and they talk about Kershish, which they both think that he has great potential, but Yoda thinks that he's a little too driven, but says he has good friends, like Dooku did with Sifo-Dyas, which Dooku then kind of asks Yoda about Sifo-Dyas and what he's up to, which Yoda says that he's out traveling the galaxy with his former master, but Yoda then says that he thinks Sifo-Dyas spends a little too much time lost in his visions, which Dooku tells him that maybe they should reassess the visions and what they could tell them about the Force, which Yoda says that they are just possibilities and not certainties, and that acting out of fear would lead you to the dark side. But Dooku says that, the Jedi serve the light, and that it would be best to know where the light was needed, saying that maybe these visions are telling them, something what would be useful there. But Dooku then walks away as Yoda kind of thinks back on what he said. But, then the stuff with Dooku and Kershish happens, and then the end of the issue is Kershish going back to class, but it does end with Yoda watching over the younglings. But also at the start of the issue, there is another moment of Yoda on Dagobah, as I would assume we see Obi-Wan calling out to him, but Yoda kind of ignores it and continues to walk away. But, like I said, I thought it was a solid issue. I liked all the setup, for the start of this arc and whatnot. I liked getting more of Dooku as a Jedi and him with Yoda. And I'm very interested to see where everything goes with the Jedi younglings, as Dooku has maybe kind of given Kershish a bad lesson, but interested to see how Dooku affects the younglings and how Yoda also affects them. But I also thought the art was solid from Luke Ross. I always enjoy the stuff he does in the Marvel Star Wars comics. So yeah, all in all, I quite like the issue. My grade, I'm giving it an A-. So yeah, but next I'll review issue 5, so you can check that out then. But in the meantime, check out my reviews on the first 3 issues and all my other comic reviews and everything else to do. But I've been Star Wars Review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.